Well, hello! Yes, I am still here in Scottsdale, Arizona, USA. Been back for a while. This video is now, we're actually rolling into September of 2025, and I've been here since May, so I'm due to get going. So, ever since I've been back, been reading a lot of things about what's happening in Thailand, and I am due to go back in a few months, actually. So, it's been a lot of craziness, from what I understand, and looking at everything, what's happening in Thailand, concerned with everything that's been happening at the border over with Cambodia. Been a little bit of a mess that's been going on, and I did a previous video pertaining to the border and the 7 provinces that borders with Cambodia. So the Prime Minister, and I guess we'll talk a little bit what's going on in the political side of things in Thai government. The Prime Minister has been ousted recently, a couple weeks ago. They were without a Prime Minister for a couple weeks. Paetongtarn Shinawatra has been ousted, and it was due to some ethical violations that were involved early over the past couple of months, and they finally got her out after her suspension, which was due to ethical violations, which she replaced another prime minister due to ethical violations. And the Constitutional Court removed Paetongtarn. And the major no-no that Paetongtarn had committed was a leaked telephone call with a former leader, prominent leader of Cambodia. And a call that was leaked that was calling this person, like her uncle, and also criticized the Thai military over certain things with everything that was going on. And that led to a major domino effect, and that pretty much ended her position as Prime Minister. She held that position for 10 months. What has happened now is that the House Parliament has made a decision on who the Prime Minister is, and it was already been decided as of it is Friday. So they made that decision today, which obviously I'm in the Western world, and their day starts way before we do here in the United States. But I want to talk a little bit about, kind of share with you some of the things about political parties. And there are a ton of political parties in that small country of Thailand, comparing with our size, geographically. And there are about 70 to 80 parties that are active in Thailand. That's a lot of parties. And I want to share with you 5 active parties of the top 5 active parties in Thailand. And actually, I worked up a cheat sheet through a pretty interesting platform, and I know many of you have heard it. The artificial intelligence, and I used ChatGPT. And I'm going to give you some tidbits of each of the 5 parties in Thailand and how they align with the United States parties, whether it's the Republican Party, the Democrat Party, there is a Libertarian Party, and there are some independents out there, but we won't cover the independents. So I'm going to give you the first party that I'm going to share with you. And looking here, that's my little cheat sheet. And hey, I've got to learn, and you have to learn as well. So we're going to start off with the first party of the Move Forward Party. And it's kind of known as the People's Party. All right. So the Move Forward Party is a reformist party, and it's more of like a strong, very opinionated about a lot of things, whether it's with, strong individual rights, or, maybe they have a really minimal military influence. Those are one of those deals that they're not really highly regarded on, is the military. And, another things that they do is just more of like a radical and challenging establishment of power. They want power. They're gonna, they're just kind of aligned with looking at all the power they can get to, do whatever they can. And they're huge on taxing a lot of people. And so if you kind of get an idea, if you're watching from the United States right here, by the way, you kind of get an idea that this is more like the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the Bernie Sanders, and I would probably put in former President Joe Biden in the mix of the party of the Move Forward Party. So it aligns with the far left Democrat Party. So if you're part of that particular belief system, then that's the party for you. The next party, we're going to shift gears from the far left, and let's go with the far right this time, shall we? The United Thai Nation Party. So this is more all pro-business, and they all focus on major corporations, throughout Thailand, and they're socially conservative, and they're more of the monarch nationalists with family values, religion, and traditional culture. So they are selective when it comes to welfare support. It's more like supporting, maybe the low, small businesses that need help, that kind of thing, and just, support business and patronize them, and not, deal with any type of distribution from a taxation standpoint. And obviously they are focused on, border protection and military support. So, that aligns with a lot of things with the Republican Party, and that is more of the Donald Trump type of party. So that is more of the far right Republican Party when it comes to the Thai or the United Thai Nation Party. The next party I'm going to cover is the Pheu Thai Party. The Pheu Thai Party actually is relatively newer. It's only been around for about 18 years. And their focus is they're more populist, and they are more of the centrist leaning left kind of party. So, but they are more expansive on, welfare, subsidies, especially when it comes to, with farmers. They're highly invested in infrastructure, that kind of thing. And actually, so is the United Thai Nation Party. They're kind of focused with that kind of stuff as well. But they're more focused with cash transfer programs, and quite frankly, this particular party was led by the now ousted Shinawatra Party, or Shinawatra. And, Thaksin was the one of the former prime minister years ago, and then now the ousted Paetongtarn Shinawatra, who's ousted. That's their party. So, but they were more of, they focus on the social welfare of people, but they're not as radical as as opposed to the to the People's Party, which is the Move Forward Party. But they are focused with the wealth distribution, meaning higher taxes and subsidizing those with the low end. And another thing I'll point out to you, they are more focused on subsidizing when it comes to, they're more progressive in the healthcare industry and social programs. And the next party I'm going to talk about, and yes, to my fellow Americans, there is a party called the Democrat Party. And believe it or not, it is a right-wing party. So they align with Republicans here. They align with the Republican Party. So they are the oldest party in Thailand that was founded in 1946. They support urban middle class, upper middle class, and a lot of the elites in southern Thailand, which that's where all the beaches and all the resorts and everything else, that's kind of more lean towards. It's kind of like Florida in a way that it kind of leans towards with all the beaches, which is pretty cool. But on the other hand, market-friendly businesses that they support, pro-businesses that they support, and they advocate social parties or social policies that is very similar to the United Thai Party. So there's a lot of things in common between the Democrat Party and the United Thai Party. So they also oppose populist and redistribution. So they're against populist spending, and they support the military. And last and certainly not least, the Bhumjaithai Party. And that particular party is more of conservative localist governing role, and that particular party is where the Prime Minister, who just been elected, controls. So, they're conservative and pro-business, and they have a good, strong provincial networks. They are believers in local development, infrastructures, expansive healthcare systems, and then one of the things I have to tell you about is they decriminalize cannabis. That's right, weed. So, that kind of makes the cannabis stores pretty happy, I guess. It's kind of turned into from medical to the recreational type stuff. That's not for me, but that's what they support. And on top of everything else, their power base is more towards northeastern Thailand and the lower northern provinces. So I think that's pretty good considering what the issues that they have with with the border of Cambodia. So it does align with both the Republican and a little bit of the Democrat Party in the United States. So there's a little bit of both. So it's more like an independent, maybe more towards libertarian, and that's what they decided to go for. So, but in terms of the Prime Minister, his name is Anutin Charnvirakul. Anutin Charnvirakul is the name, if I pronounce it correctly. So his background, he is a cannabis crusader, turned from that to prime minister. And he was elected by the Thai Parliament of the House of Representatives and won that by a vote of 311, which he needed only 247 to win the prime ministry. So, pretty overwhelming number. Big discrepancy from the minimum to what he got. So he's only 58 years old, and from a business perspective side of things, he took some major roles at a few companies, and one is that he was a huge businessman and production engineer with Mitsubishi. And then he was a technical analyst at a major corporation in Thailand. It was a major industrial corporation in Thailand. And then he also runs a family-owned engineering and construction firm. So a lot of business ties that he has, along with the political side of things. So what is his term now that he has just been elected by the House, the Parliament? Well, here's the situation. He will be making a call for the general election within 4 months, and the general election will be no later than June 28th of 2027. So, technically, there may be a change along the way, within those time frames coming up. So, I don't know what's going to happen, and I think possibly they may have picked the right guy. I really don't know. But I think there are a lot of things that he's needed for, and we'll see what happens. And, Thailand has a number of things that they need to, address. Tourism is so low right now. Not many people are coming in. And there have been a lot of issues that were going on, obviously, with the border, and a recent earthquake that happened in Thailand that was epicentered into Myanmar. I was in Thailand, but never felt it. But, a number of things, a number of concerns that were going on, and obviously the instability of government, and a number of other things pertaining to tourist visas. There'll be a number of changes, I'm sure, that will be coming up. But when it comes to Thailand, it's just a little bit of a civics book through ChatGPT or social studies. Whatever the subject is, history. Yeah, I guess there's some recent history that happened around here, or around there, obviously. But I did some learning, and I did a video. I hope you learned, and I don't have an opinion of what's going on from a political side of things in Thailand. I know there will be some major changes coming up. Obviously, the tourism is very low. I think they want to address that as soon as possible with getting their prime minister in, and they have to implement a number of things. In terms of visas and the border situation, and economic standpoint, there are some major issues going on as well from an economic standpoint that are concerning a number of Thais because of the lower tourism that's been taking place. So, I have so many strong opinions of what's going on here in the United States. Even when I'm gone, I try to avoid what's going on in the United States, but social media does keep me from avoiding those, avoiding all the news, and it's kind of hard to block things out sometimes. But I guess I gave you a little bit of a civics lesson here, but I hope you enjoyed what I had to talk about, and subscribe and like, and feel free to comment. All right. I hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers.